this afternoon, one of my children is going to come up to me and say, Mum, what's for dinner? And if I haven't got my shit together and been organised, I am going to feel the existential dinner dread. I'm probably going to go over to the fridge, open it, and I'm going to realise that there is nothing in there that I fancy cooking. And all the things that are about to go out of date are going to be staring at me, asking me to cook them. And instead, I'm going to be eyeing up the wine and reaching for Deliveroo whilst feeling a load of guilt. This is a thing that I've experienced a lot. And that is why I've always tried to have a bit of a system. And the system that I have in place now is killer. And that is what I want to walk you through today on the show. Because if you are somebody who is trying to feed the kids and feed them healthy food, you're not in the chicken nugget crew. I am sorry, but I'm not part of the chicken nugget party. As much as my kids wish I was. I love to do homemade, fresh cooked food. My Yorkshire puddings are homemade, and I actually do buy ready-made pastry. I'm not a complete cook it all from fresh person, but I do try and cook as much as I can from fresh. And it's very difficult when you've got so many children. I've got loads of children. I've got 4 children, and I'm running a business, and I'm working from home, and life is chaos. And that takes a bit of planning. And so what I have always loved to do is collect recipes and collect the things that I know that we love to eat. So I've got this catalogue of recipes to go through. And then I have a system for basically choosing what we're going to eat. And we essentially make a weekly menu. Now, that has developed from when I was a teenager and I had cookbooks that I used to just write my favorite recipes in. And actually, these are so old that a lot of the writing in some of these books is actually faded. Like, makes me feel so. I mean, this is what happens if you write with multicolored gel pens when you're about 15. And I used to collect all my recipes in these books, and I would write them out. Every time I got a recipe, I write it out. And then what happened is I had kids. I didn't have time to write recipes out by hand anymore. That was not a thing. In fact, let me know if you resonate. Drop this in the comments. Drop it. Yes, me, I resonate in the comments. If you are somebody who is like, as soon as you had kids, a lot of your organizational things went out the window. And with my first daughter, I actually took photos of her and organized them all into months in folders. So it's like, this is Syra when she's a newborn. This is her between 0 and 1 month. This is her between 1 and 2 months. I'm such a nerd. And I had this whole organizational photo situation. By the time you get to kid number 2, you just don't have time to deal with that kind of chaos. By the time you get to kid number 3, kid number 4, it is literally just not happening anymore. So look, I always start with the best intentions, and then it always drops off. Couple of things that I have done since handwriting cookbooks. I used to then take photos of recipes and store those in a log. And my most recent way of actually managing the food in this house, it's not most recent, I'm going to show you today the most recent thing, but my almost most recent way of doing this is that I have, let me see if I can share screen. And by the way, I'm really worried that like we're not actually live, although it says we're live. And if we are, and you are here and you can, like, for some reason, I can't see I can't see if anyone is here. And also I accidentally hit stop and then hit start again. So I don't know if I've just like ruined everything. So yeah, please drop something in the comments if you're here with me and I'm not on my own. Okay. And also maybe I can go check just so that I don't record the next hour and I'm not actually doing anything. So bear with me. And if you're watching this on the replay, drop me a hashtag replay. It would be really awesome to know that you were here. Okay, I can see that we're live. That's fine. Although it's welcome to our live show. So that's why no one's here, is probably because the one that I was supposed to, I'm not on. So let me just quickly pop a message to everybody who's probably hanging out over on the live stream. For God's sake, I knew I'd done something wrong. Live. No, it's not there anymore. Okay, cool. Well, to those of you that are here and you found it, then congrats. Great to have you with me. And sorry for anyone that I've left out at sea. I definitely messed up somewhere on that live stream button. I think I pressed it twice and then it basically didn't work. Oh, I can see Ian Wilson's here. Okay, so someone is receiving this broadcast. Hey Ian, how you doing? Good to have you with us. Yeah, it did. It disappeared. I had to go live again. So I'm just sorry. I'm really sorry. For those of you that have found this, awesome. Welcome. I was just basically saying that every single day I've got to cook dinner for the kids, and it's hard work because every single day that's a decision that needs to be made. And if I'm not organized with doing that ahead of time, it becomes absolute freaking chaos. Now, my system is really, really simple. It is collect all the recipes of things that you and your kids love to eat. Or you don't have to have kids, by the way. You could have just you. It could be you and your partner. I think the point here is that we're going, I really want to eat well. I really want to eat healthy. I don't want to be ordering Deliveroo. I don't want to be ordering like stuff that's unhealthy or just throwing pasta in a pan with some tomato sauce. I want to actually eat a good variety of food and eat healthy. And it takes a bit of organizing. And I am not somebody who can fathom or stomach or have the patience for meal prepping. This is not about meal prepping. I do not batch cook stuff and freeze it and then defrost it on the day. I have not got the patience for that. Peeling potatoes on a Sunday night, no thanks, not happening. So this is a system that helps me manage the food situation in the family on the go. And so how it works is that I gather recipes. I've been gathering recipes my whole life. I taught myself how to cook. I was that kid that was like, I want to be a nana one day and I want to be able to teach my kids how to cook. I was a real, so actually like a 15-year-old thinking like that. That was me. And, you know, by the time I was 22, I had my first kid and I am definitely going to be known for my roast potatoes. I think it might go on my gravestone. But the point is I taught myself how to cook and I became very obsessed with recipe books, but going through recipe books all the time and trying to think, okay, what are we going to cook? Even going through BBC Good Food, what are we going to cook this week? What we're going to cook? It's a lot. And also you don't want to be cooking new recipes all the time because that's a new thing you need to learn every single day. So I will do a new recipe once a week probably. And we always have like tasting night. Where we had this thing that we did recently called Jamie's Night, where we were going through the Jamie's cookbook and we were going to basically do one Jamie's recipe every week. I used to be a waitress at Jamie's Italian, by the way, so I like Jamie Oliver. I've got a connection with him from years ago through my waitressing journey. But anyway, we had Jamie's Night and we were cooking one thing from his cookbook every week, and then asking the kids like, okay, what do you rate out of 10? Is it going in the cookbook? And if it goes in the cookbook, it means it's on the menu, we want to eat it again, and it gets jotted down. But I don't have time to write that recipe in a book anymore. And I, with all the will in the world, try to do this in many different ways. So way number one is I started gathering recipes and putting them in my own cookbook that was on Google. It was on Google Drive. And then I made it on Canva. This is me and my nan. If you're watching, Nan, love you, Nan. She often watches my show. This is me and my nan in the kitchen. The kitchen's where the heart is. My nan was like, she's the absolute best roast potato cooker. I learnt from her. She just doesn't cook them anymore, so I had to take the gauntlet. But yeah, so this was my cookbook, and you see, like, I had this whole layout in Canva, and I got quite a few recipes in here. but keeping up with this every time you come up with a new recipe to add it into the cookbook, it was just like absolutely not keeping up with it. So I hadn't added a new recipe in here for about 2 years, probably. I've had Canva since 2017, a long time. So then the other way of doing this, sorry, let me just share entire screen. Oh God, what have I got open? I think it'll be fine. We're only live, it's fine. Can you see that? I think you can. This is a reminders app in my phone where everything is ticked off because I've transferred it all now. But I had lists and lists of recipes. Now, things I don't need a recipe for, like chicken yummies. I know how to make chicken yummies. I don't need a recipe for that. It's just breaded chicken. But we call them chicken yummies in our house. Burgers, don't need a recipe for that. But, you know, beef stew and dumplings, I need to know what the measurement is for the dumplings every time I make it. Asian minced lettuce cups, I've just got basically the link that takes me to where that recipe is. And then on some of these, I've just got an image of my cookbook, like this one that I made, that I just showed you, that's in Canva. And so I used to organize this, and this was great. I used to organize this and go, right, okay, so the menu, we're going to go, let's hide all the completed ones. I'd go, right, Monday, and I'll just type into here, Monday, we're going to have Monday, and I'd put Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I would just basically copy over the recipe from down below into that Monday to Friday. And that worked. I did that sustainably every week for a few years. That was great. And, you know, we say, what's on the menu this week? But that is essentially the system, is you gather recipes that you love, and then you lay out a menu. Can I stop sharing? I need to come back here and kebabs. Yes, darling, kebabs. My children, oh, hello. Why are we in a weird layout? My children, 3 of my children are half Pakistani, and one of them is half Italian, and they are the Pakistani kebabs, and you don't say kebabs, you say kebabs. So yes, lots of A's for that one. But yeah, so gathering recipes, having a place to store all of those recipes in one place, so you don't need to go back through cookbooks. But the other thing is having them written out in a way that you can really quickly go through them, like really quickly. Because if I go open a cookbook and it's a Nigella recipe about some kind of noodles that she discovered on her journey to Hong Kong, and it was a marvelous trip, and she now wants to explain the aesthetic of the restaurant that she devoured the noodles in, I'm like, just cut to the flipping chase, woman. What do I need to put in the noodles? And so I just want to strip all of that out and just have step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4 done. And really, really simple. So that was actually my reason for rewriting out loads of recipes, was so that I could put them in a place where I could just cut out all the fluff and also add my own flair to it as I go, like change things, tweak things, etc. We have a comment from Ian Wilson saying, this is far too organized. I know, it's awful, which is why I have solved this and made it in a way that I can actually be really, really messy and disorganized and stay organized at the same time. Because I am somebody, if you haven't already figured it out from watching this far, I'm pretty disorganized and chaotic. So most of the time I'm clumsy. I have not been diagnosed with ADHD. All my loved ones tell me that I should go and get a diagnosis. I don't really see why. What the point is, nothing's going to change, but I am absolutely chaotic. And if I don't get organized, it only gets worse. So I have put together something called Corky's Cookbook. And by the way, my nickname is Corky. Okay? That is what all my friends call me. Share screen. It's really annoying. I'm on Riverside, and you could set up scenes on Restream. But on Riverside, I have to share screen. So poor Abdul's haven't cut out all the screen sharing slow stuff. Okay, so here we go. Something went wrong. Back to the studio. Okay. Let me introduce you to Corky's cookbook. I think everything's fine. I don't know why it says something went wrong. So this is where all of my recipes, the things that we love to cook, this is getting deleted, by the way, this one here. We cooked this last night. Rubbish. Didn't like that. That was my sister recommended that. I do. She's like, oh, you need to try this. So it went into the cookbook. But anyway, I'll tell you about that in a minute because we've got a recipe to try toggle here. But this app, I made this on Lovable. With just a bit of back and forth for a few days, we finally had my ideal organization system for the house in an app. And how it works is that we've got essentially the weekly menu. So we've got Monday through Sunday all written down, and then you can choose from the recipes what you're going to have that day. So slow roast lamb shoulder, why not? On Sunday, happy days, that's in the plan. And so we've got the cookbook is where all these recipes are stored. And the really, really cool thing about this is that to add a recipe in here, all I need to do is paste the link of a recipe website and it will just scrape the recipe and drop it in. Or I can copy and paste the text for a recipe, ingredients and method, drop it in, and it will turn it into a recipe. In fact, let's have a go. Let's have a go. Let's do it. Or the other thing I can do is take a picture of a recipe and then drop that in here, and it will scrape the text off the image and drop that in. So what do we fancy cooking this week? Let's have a think. Let me just go share this tab instead. Oh, bloody hell, this thing's being so irritating. Bear with me. Okay. BBC. Oh, I think my mouse is dying. BBC good food. We're just going to click on the first thing we see. Cauliflower, olive and lentil tagine. Couldn't think of anything worse. That's fine. I mean, it's probably nice. Why not? Okay, we're going to copy this link. We're going to come back into, where is it? I'm going to come back into the app. I'm going to make sure that I am sharing this screen with you. And then I literally just paste that in there, click the plus button, and it's going to add it to the cookbook. Now, one thing I didn't do, same with this one, what I should have done is toggle this recipe to try button. And then what it does is it puts it in the to try section, and I can either keep or reject it if I want to actually cook it. Now, the photos don't get pulled in because that's just a bit complicated. So you have to add photos as you go, and you can add pictures of what you've done. But essentially, I've got this cookbook here, and then we have the weekly menu here. And then when it comes to planning out the week ahead, you just sit down on a Sunday afternoon or whenever is the best time for you, and you sit and go through your cookbook. And if we refresh the screen, actually, we can see the one that we just imported, which is what I was supposed to show you. It is here, cauliflower, olive and lentil. I don't say like, oh, I hate cinnamon. Not typing in the right place. Oh, I hate cinnamon. Rework it without. And it will change it. And also, if let's say it was in cups and ounces and stuff, and I want to work in grams, I can ask it to convert it to that, and it will basically change anything that you want. It's taken that cinnamon out. Happy days. I actually really like cinnamon, but just as an example. And if I want to upload a photo, I can upload a photo. And if I want to add certain tags to it or change the ingredients or anything like that manually, then I can just hit the edit button. And what's really cool about this is that now on a weekly basis, instead of going through that really annoying situation where I'm going through all my recipes that I've saved to a file, or I'm going through reminders where I've got all these recipes saved, I just flick through. I go, right, okay, what we're going to have, and I add a recipe. and basically choose what we're going to have. And let's say that I don't have a recipe for something because it's like, well, it's a blooming Sunday roast. We're going to have a Sunday roast. I don't need a recipe for a Sunday roast. Then I can just type it in here and it will placeholder pop that like that. Happy days. Or out for dinner, or Maria's birthday, or whatever, on holiday, if you like. So we've got the cookbook and then laying out that weekly menu. The next thing we need to think about is the shopping list, because the realistic thing is that if I was to just go shopping and be like, right, feeding a family of 6 this week, what are we gonna get from the supermarket? If I don't sit and plan what we're gonna have every day of the week, I'm rocking up to the shop with a mental possible list. Depending on how hungry I am or not, we're going to come home with £200 worth of random food items that may or may not work well together. A lot of it is going to get wasted, and I'm probably going to have to nip to the shops in between because I don't have everything that I need. And so my solution to this is that we basically build a shopping list based on what we have every single day of the week. So if I know what we're going to be eating all week, and I'm like, oh, well, Saturday could be like kids are out. Oh, bloody, it's not typing. I keep forgetting. A Saturday, I'm like, okay, the kids are out on Saturday. We're just going to have steak. Then that's just a mental note for me when I'm doing the shopping list. But also I built in this really cool thing where if you click on this button, you've got all of the ingredients for Thai red meatball curry, which I do not recommend. And anything that you don't have, because we often have a lot of stuff in the cupboards, right? But anything that you don't have, let's say, oh, we've run out of garlic, actually. We definitely have water. We've got salt. We've got pepper. We've run out of red Thai curry paste or whatever. Anything that you don't have will then end up in the shopping list, which is here. Now, the shopping list is automatically populated with anything that you've ticked off from the weekly menu. So you've got your weekly menu items. You click on that arrow there, and then I can tick stuff off that I do not have, and then it winds up inside the shopping list. And then in here, this is tagged. This is not run by AI. This is tagged internally, so things end up in the wrong places at times. But anything that is basically just pops into different aisles of where to find it in the supermarket, because that's the next thing, isn't it? You go shopping with a list, and for God's sake, your chicken's up there and your sausages are at the end. You didn't spot them. You get all the way to the end of your shopping. You're like, oh shit, I need to go back to the meat aisle to go and get the sausages. So we also need our shopping list organized by aisles. Come on. I mean, that would just make life so much easier, wouldn't it? So this shopping list is organized by aisles. If I put bananas, that's not typing. Bananas on the list. They're probably not spelt right. Oh, yeah, they are. So they've gone into the fresh fruit and veg section. So we also have a shopping list that is organized. And believe you me, I used to make the shopping list from the reminders, and then I used to organize it myself into where everything goes. So this is literally saving me hours every single week. And on top of that, it's also saving me money, because when I go shopping, I'm getting the ingredients for everything that is in the cookbook, which means I have the menu, the weekly menu. I have everything I need for every single recipe that I'm cooking this week, plus anything else that I've added to that list. And so if you want to be really tight on budget with your food shop, the next step would then do an online shop, so that you are definitely getting the cheapest possible versions and highest quality that you want of every item, because it's so much easier to see when you're online shopping what is discounted and what is how much pounds per grams, for instance, of whatever it is that you're buying. It's so much easier to work that out with online shopping. And also, you definitely put less in your basket because you're not walking past absolutely everything. And so you can end up being really, really lean with your supermarket shopping because you're getting everything you need, nothing extra, which, by the way, also means that you're not wasting loads of stuff. I used to waste loads of stuff when I didn't follow this system. You know, I'd be like, oh, salad. We probably need some salad stuff this week, don't we? And it's like nothing salad orientated that we're eating all week. Just bought a load of salad stuff, all ended up in the bin. Let me know if you relate to this. It's so normal. And the amount of food wastage there is every single week, every single month, every single year is horrendous. And also it costs a hell of a lot of money. We have a family of 6 with a 1-year-old and then also a dog as well, who we cook for. And our shop is at like a pretty conservative shop. It's £200 a week. So, you know, if you're going shopping in the supermarket, that could easily become £250, £300 a week, and all of that adds up. But then also, if you're then wasting a chunk of that, probably wasting £50 worth of food a week. I mean, hello, that's a massage, or your nails done, or I don't know, a little lunch out with the girls, and that we're just chucking away. And you know, I'm sure the kids would like that as pocket money. But it just doesn't make sense to be throwing away money and food, etc. So this system doesn't only save me time and make me feel like the most organized person in the world and make me look like I'm totally exposed, like a total absolute nerd with this system, but it just saves you money and it also saves you time, because if you're going to the actual supermarket, you've got everything organized. But if you are shopping online, you've also got everything organized and it's super, super easy. And hey, you could probably get Claude open and go, put all this stuff in my shopping basket on Tesco's for me and do something else whilst it does that. I haven't tried that. I haven't, but I could, but I haven't. I haven't gone that far. How could I verify? I'd have to go through everything and verify it. So that is my cookbook app. That is my system. And it is really, really simple. It's really simple. All you need to do is have a place where you've got all of your recipes saved, and then a Monday to Sunday list where you can just assign those recipes over, and then you just shop for whatever is on that ingredients list. And also, because we are the people watching this channel alongside me, because hello, a little bit geeky, and we love a bit of software, and we love a system and a strategy and a method that saves time and creates a bit of efficiency. I thought it would be really fun to give you not access to the app as a user, but actually just give you the app in terms of you being able to build your own with this one as a template, so that yours doesn't say Corky's cookbook, and also give you all of my recipes as a way of getting started with that. So if you would like that, please drop a want in the comments. I'll explain to you in a minute how you can get hold of that, because this app was built on Lovable. Now, if you don't know what Lovable is, you've probably seen the Base 44 adverts. And Base 44 is one of these AI systems where you don't need to know code, and you can code anything just by telling it what to do. And essentially like Claude Code or whatever. There's so many things around that you can use. Even Go High Level has got a new AI inbuilt system that's a bit like Base 44 now. But the point is that Lovable is a bit like Base 44, only so much better. Because Base 44, I'm not a fan. I built this on Base 44 originally, and I actually moved it to Lovable because they are a little bit shocking with how they run their credit system. They have 2 different types of credits, and there's the cookbook. Basically, accidentally, it built a system in the cookbook that every time I added a new recipe, it used AI to update all the other recipes. And I used 500 credits in 30 seconds. And I was like, what? And I was on a paid version of Base 44, and I contacted support and there was nothing they could do. So I thought, okay, well, I'll just wait a whole month until it comes round again, and carry on editing my cookbook, which was really annoying because I was so eager to use it. Now I built this thing and I knew it was going to be so helpful. So I thought I'd wait, and I waited nearly a month because there was probably about 20 days left until the credits renewed. And then they were gone within 30 seconds again. And it was only on investigation at that point that I realized that every time I added something new into the cookbook, it updated every single recipe, which was an internal glitch that the system had built into itself that I wouldn't have known was even there because it's just buried inside code somewhere. And when I got onto support and I asked them, is there any way that you can refund those credits? Because even the system admits that it made a mistake by adding this in that ate all the credits. It was like, no. And I was like, so I'm just gonna have to wait another month now. So I was like, right, well, fuck this, I'm leaving. And so I basically moved on to Lovable, and I exported the app from Base 44 and rebuilt it in Lovable. And what I love about Lovable is there's only one type of credit. They're not charging, because you can plug your own AI into Base 44, but they also charge you to use it. Whereas Lovable don't do that. There's just the credits, the normal just credits of using the app, which is, you know, fine, standard. And it gives you 5 free credits a day. So even if you're on their £20 plan and you get 100 credits a month, you still get 5 credits a day. And so you actually have 105 credits, which is really cool. And every day they give you 5 more credits. So on the free plan, you have 5 credits a day, which basically means that you can just very slowly build something over a few days. And with something like a cookbook, you don't need to pay for Lovable because, well, you're not building it to make money from it. You're building it to just do something for yourself. And so it can just be a little project. So if I've basically put together a remix link for you, and you can grab it for literally just £27. You get the whole app, and then I'm going to walk you through how to install it. And actually, this would be if you're new to Lovable or these app building things, then this is a really, really cool way for you to build your first little app, for something like a first little app project. There's the link to it. Oh, I just dropped it in twice. That's strange. Maybe it just dropped in twice. I don't know. I'm not sure what's happening. And it's on this thing again. Why is it doing that? Ugh, bloody hell. We're not doing very good with the tech today. Abdul is not going to be happy with me because I've probably just recorded half that video chopped in half. He's going to be fuming. What can we do? It's just what happens when you go live. And I go live on purpose because it brings out the humanness. There's no retakes. Like, it just is what it is. And I think that's the best way to connect with people. And so I'm here doing that in real time, fluffing things. And it's fun. It's great fun. Right. So I'm just going to share with you my screen and show you what happens. So if you want to grab that cookbook app, essentially, it's going to then take you to create your own. I'm just going to hit this and then go like this and then just come back and check. You can see. I'm always worried that you can't see what I'm sharing. And let me bring myself into the mix. There we go. Okay, so this is when you get the app and you hit when you click the link, the remix link that I'm giving you, then essentially you come in and you're going to create your own Lovable account. So I'm going to type into here. I need a new email address. What can I use? I used to do that plus. I'll try that plus thing. Let's see if that lets me do it. Let's go. No, it's very clever. It knows. Okay, let me just get a temporary. Oh. I was supposed to put, please don't be an inappropriate site. I forgot the dash. Let's try that again. temp-mail.org. This is a place to come and get a free temporary email address. However, it may also detect that this one is not real. And if not, we'll just do it on my account and it'll be fine. I'll just show you what to do. Okay, so there we go. So you create your account. Suspicious activity. It doesn't like that email address. I didn't think it would work. All right. Well, anyway, let me come back to here. And I will take you to, where is this one? Here. No, bear with me. I'm going to stop sharing a second and then get what I need and then start.